Episode 3: How the World's Great Powers Became So Powerful. Welcome to History and Facts. In our previous episode, we explored the road to World War I and uncovered the forces that made global conflict inevitable. Nationalism, alliances, militarism, and industrial competition pushed the world closer to war. But before the first shots were fired, something else had already changed history forever. Power itself had changed. In this episode, we will explore how the world's great nations became so powerful before World War I, not through kings and castles, but through factories, finance, technology, and modern armies. This is the story of how industrial power reshaped global dominance. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, strength was no longer measured only by land or royal bloodlines. Power now came from steel production, coal mines, railways, shipyards, and financial systems. Nations that mastered industry gained influence far beyond their borders. The world was entering a new age of power. Let us begin with the nation that changed Europe forever. Germany. Germany unified in 1871, later than most European powers. But once unified, it industrialized at an astonishing pace. Rich coal and iron deposits in the Ruhr region fueled massive steel production. German factories adopted the latest technologies and emphasized efficiency, precision, and organization. Chemical industries, electrical engineering, and heavy manufacturing flourished. Germany also invested heavily in education. Universities focused on science, engineering, and research. This created a skilled workforce capable of innovation and industrial growth. But Germany's power was not limited to factories. Its military became one of the most disciplined and professional forces in the world. Universal conscription ensured a large, well-trained army. Railways were designed not just for trade, but for rapid troop movement. Industry and military planning worked together. Germany believed that strength guaranteed survival. And with each passing year, its rise unsettled the balance of power in Europe. Next, we turn to the world's greatest empire. Britain. Britain was the first nation to industrialize, and by 1900, it had already spent over a century mastering global power. Its factories produced textiles, machinery, and steel on a massive scale. British innovation fueled early industrial growth worldwide. But Britain's true strength lay beyond its factories. It controlled the seas. The Royal Navy was the largest and most powerful naval force in the world. British warships protected trade routes that connected colonies across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Raw materials flowed into Britain. Finished goods flowed out. London became the financial heart of the world. Banks financed railways, industries, and governments across continents. British currency and credit shaped global markets. Britain did not need the largest army. Its navy and financial power ensured dominance. But Britain watched Germany's rise with growing concern. Now we turn to France. France was one of Europe's oldest and most influential powers. It possessed strong industry, skilled workers, and advanced engineering. French factories produced weapons, automobiles, and heavy machinery. However, France carried a deep national wound. Defeat in the Franco-Prussian War had cost it territory and pride. This loss shaped French politics, military planning, and national identity. France invested heavily in its army. It focused on artillery, fortifications, and defensive strategies. Railways connected military bases, and conscription ensured manpower. French industry supported military readiness, but emotional motivation played a powerful role. France prepared not just to defend itself, but to reclaim honor. Now let us move east. To Russia. Russia was vast, larger than any European nation. It possessed enormous natural resources and a massive population. In theory, Russia should have been unstoppable. In reality, Russia faced deep challenges. Industrialization came late and unevenly. Factories existed, but infrastructure lagged behind Western Europe. Railways were limited, though massive projects like the Trans-Siberian Railway began to change that. Russia relied on numbers rather than efficiency. Its army was enormous, but poorly equipped and poorly supplied. Command structures were outdated. Economic inequality created internal unrest. Despite these weaknesses, Russia remained a major power simply due to its size and potential. But beneath the surface, instability grew. Now we examine two aging empires: Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. Austria-Hungary was a complex empire of many ethnic groups. Germans, Hungarians, Slavs, and others lived under one crown. This diversity created constant political tension. Industrial development existed but was uneven. Some regions modernized, while others remained agricultural. The army struggled to unify soldiers from different cultures and languages. Austria-Hungary relied heavily on alliances to maintain its position. The Ottoman Empire faced even greater challenges. Once a dominant power, it struggled to modernize its economy and military. Industrial capacity was limited. Territories were lost to nationalist movements and foreign pressure. The Ottomans were increasingly dependent on European support to survive. These empires still held land and armies, but their foundations were weakening. Now we cross the Atlantic to the United States. By 1900, the United States was becoming an industrial giant. Abundant natural resources fueled steel, oil, and manufacturing industries. Mass production techniques increased efficiency and lowered costs. American factories produced more steel than many European nations combined. Railways connected the continent. New technologies transformed communication and transport. Yet militarily, the United States remained cautious. It possessed economic power without aggressive foreign ambitions, for now. Its influence was growing quietly. The world was beginning to notice. Now let us talk about technology. Technology transformed power more than any single invention in history. Machine guns, artillery, battleships, and modern rifles changed warfare completely. Communication technologies allowed faster coordination. Railways enabled rapid mobilization of armies. War became industrial. Victory depended on production capacity as much as bravery. Financial systems also played a critical role. Modern wars were expensive. Nations needed strong banks, stable currencies, and access to credit. Those with financial strength could sustain long conflicts. Those without it collapsed. Industrial power, military strength, technology, and finance were now inseparable. This new reality changed how leaders thought about war. Many believed that industrial might would ensure quick victory. They believed wars could be planned, calculated, and controlled. They underestimated the cost. By 1914, the world was divided between powerful, industrialized nations. Each had strengths. Each had fears. Germany feared encirclement. Britain feared losing naval dominance. France feared weakness. Russia feared decline. Empires feared collapse. Everyone was preparing. Factories ran at full capacity. Armies drilled constantly. Weapon stockpiles grew. The world was armed, confident, and dangerously impatient. All that remained was a trigger. And that trigger would come soon. In the next episode, we will explore how this industrial power collided with reality as diplomacy failed and the modern world marched into total war. Thank you for watching the complete video. Please do follow and subscribe to History and Facts for more upcoming interesting videos.